You know, looking back on it, Life with Derek really should have been called White People Problems, the show. Life with Derek was a Canadian-produced show that aired on Disney Channel here in the States between 2005 and 2009, with a reunion movie in 2010. The show was basically like the Brady Bunch of the 2000s, but way better than that metaphor would make it sound. It mostly focused on Casey McDonald, who lived with her mother Nora and sister Lizzie. Then her mom got married to a man named George Venturi, who had 3 children of his own: Edwin, Marty, and the bane of Casey's existence, Derek. And the show was basically seeing these two fight and learn to like each other, and this managed to last 4 seasons. I really love this show. I actually think it's one of the best sitcoms that aired on Disney. It's funny, it's well acted, it manages to create a very likable cast, it has some pretty good stories and morals, including one that every person who was either in that Gamergate or anti-Gamergate group last year deserved to watch. But there's one specific reason why I love this show so much, and we'll get to that a little later. The reason for that is because this episode, called Power Failure, goes against that one thing that makes this show work. Yeah, as much as I love this show, every single episode could have been horrible if they didn't follow this one rule. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's look at this Season 3 episode of Life with Derek called Power Failure. The episode starts with Casey's friend Emily telling her about how a note in the suggestion box has led Principal Lassiter to pick school prefects. And of course, it turns out to be Casey's idea. Derek bumps into her while playing football in the hallway, causing her to get angry.
I really hope Lassiter chooses me as a prefect. Then it'll be safe to walk the halls without a helmet. Ow!
Derek did that on purpose. The first time at least was an accident.
Sir, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to hit you.
Casey, throwing balls in the hall? You should know better.
Just soak all this in, because it's going to come back to bite this episode in the ass. Also, I thought Derek hated football. After the theme song, the students are in the auditorium waiting for the announcement of the new prefects. Hey, as long as we don't have to worry about Percy anymore, I don't care. Casey is really excited. The first prefect is announced to be Emily's boyfriend Sheldon. Can you guess who the second one is?
Give a round of applause to Derek Venturi.
Derek Venturi?
Oh, what are the odds? Seriously, what are the fucking odds? Mr. Lassiter, do you remember when you first started at this school? Derek stole all the stuff out of your office and you were about ready to expel him for it until the rest of the school got behind his back. Now yes, true, you were not going to go with Casey after the football incident, and yes, Derek told her off for it, even though it was his fault, but you didn't see that, so I'll forgive you. But instead of picking one of these two, how about you pick literally anyone else? Normally in this plot, the person in charge has never seen the bad character do anything bad, but here, they don't have that excuse. And even if we were to assume that every other student we don't know all did awful things, there is one character we know is more worthy. Your lackey.
If he doesn't pick me, I hope it's you.
Yeah, why didn't he pick you? Or, you know, maybe Emily, the fucking school president? I actually would have found this much more interesting if Emily had to make harsh decisions on if she should punish her friends in order to do her job. That night at dinner, Casey tells the family that Derek has become a prefect, and even they don't believe it.
Definitely not like Derek.
Which is exactly why I'm not gonna do it.
Good, because too many kids follow your bad example as it is. Who knows what you would do with some real authority?
Casey, I have a serious question. What did you think was gonna happen?
Interesting thought.
Yeah, hello, you're supposed to be the smart one, right?
Actually, I think this might be good for you, Derek. Some responsibility.
George, shut up.
Well, actually, I think it might be good for Derek, too.
But you just heard him say he would do it after Casey implied he would abuse his power. What the hell is wrong with you people? Now we start our B-plot. Edwin wants to watch wrestling, but he can't until Marty goes to bed.
10 more minutes, please.
Marty.
Wasn't your bedtime half an hour ago?
Edwin's right.
Come on, Daddy, please.
Okay, Marty, but just 10 more minutes, and that's it.
Yeah, that's one of this thing this show does so well. It is incredibly realistic when it comes to how Marty is treated by her parents. The next day, Casey attempts to use the bathroom, but Derek has put up a schedule, with of course her being last. She steals the bathroom from Edwin and even lets Marty in, because life constantly wants to shit on Edwin and Lizzie. My sentiments exactly, Edwin. This episode does suck. Casey arrives late to school, which she says is because of him hogging the bathroom, but it was only for like 30 seconds before she got in, so that's not much of an excuse. But if you want to use that, sure. It'll come back to haunt you, though.
What is this?
A warning.
If you're late again or in the hall without a pass, you get a detention.
You can't do that.
Actually, I have to. It's my job.
Wow, Derek is really a dick in this. I mean, yeah, he normally is, but usually he's at least charming. Here, he's just loathsome. Again, we'll come back to that. Why is this obvious nerd stereotype playing with a basketball? Derek tells his friends, Sam and Ralph, to stop playing football in the hallway, and you might think this episode will get interesting with Derek having to face responsibility. It doesn't. At dinner, Derek comes across as a dick again, and Marty tries to leave without eating her Brussels sprouts.
But they make me throw up.
Okay, Munchkin. Maybe Edwin will eat them for you.
Why? Why don't you just put them in the fridge? Oh, right, we gotta make Edwin's life a living hell. What about Lizzie?
Hey, Lizzie, do you mind clearing the table when you're done eating?
Was that originally Marty's job or something?
Great job, boys. And when you're done with the halls, my locker could use a thorough cleaning.
Oh, what do you know? He's abusing his power. Who would have seen that coming?
Defying a prefect violates section 10.3 of the Thompson Behavioral Code. Punishment for that is detention.
Yeah? Well, how many detentions will that get me, huh?
Oh, I'd say about a week. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Venturi?
Alright, you know what, Principal Lassiter? You can go fuck yourself. You can go fuck yourself right in the fucking ass. God, I hate this character. I've hated him ever since he was introduced. So remember that scene where Derek made Sam and Ralph stop playing football? Well, turns out that was to get on Lassender's good side so he can rehearse in the cafeteria. So goodbye, possibly interesting story arc. In Detention, which apparently only consists of Casey and Lassender's lackey. That is, until Emily shows up.
And what are you doing in here?
The prefects added a no public displays of affection rule, so Sheldon busted me for trying to kiss him in the hallway.
Sheldon gave his own girlfriend a detention?
Why are you going out with this guy? I mean, it was bad enough in that shitty Valentine's Day episode, and believe me, I'll have plans for that one, but I never even understand why you two started going out. He's a terrible person. Back to the B-plot. Edwin and Lizzie try to get the same treatment as Marty by acting cute. It's stupid and awkward.
That's it. That was a test, and you failed.
Yeah, Marty acts cute, and you let her do anything. Sure, Marty's cute now, but if you keep spoiling her, what'll she be like as a teenager?
Conrad Hilton. That's what she'll become. Yeah, she isn't going to be good enough to be Paris.
Tuna. Again. Detention. Again. Go.
Seriously, why haven't you been caught yet? Lasseter's lackey gives an envelope of money to Derek in case his attempt to get him in trouble, but it doesn't work.
What are they all in for?
Let's see. Derek gave him a detention for having a tuna sandwich, gave her a detention for studying in the halls, and Sheldon gave that guy detention for not saluting.
Okay, by this point, someone should have gone to Lassiter. I refuse to believe they didn't, and Lassiter just doesn't care. You are an awful principal. Lassiter's lackey knows that Derek will be using the cafeteria as a rehearsal studio, and they plan to get him in trouble there. Do they at least attempt to tell Lassiter? No, they decide to use Sheldon. Because...
Derek, you're doing an outstanding job.
You have his school records right. I think if you look down it, you'll understand why the detention room is full. Also, what principal is happy that the detention room is full? Back in the B-plot, George and Nora attempt to get Marty to clean up her room.
This is my favorite show.
I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry, Marty, but no, you need to clean up your room now. And I don't care if you cry.
Can't take it, George. Let her watch the show.
Dad, have a heart.
You're right.
Marty, sweetie, come on out. Come on, you can clean your room later.
Not too long now before she just starts calling everyone peasants. Derek and his friends start setting up in the caf, but Casey and Emily bring Sheldon in to see. But because Sheldon is a tool, he forgets about telling on them as soon as Derek lets him play with the band.
Em, I should have realized. There's the rule of law, and then there's the rule of love. But tonight...
Oh, don't tell me you're falling for this, are you?
He's great, isn't he?
You poor, naive fool.
He really is great.
You poor, naive fool. Of course, Lassiter catches them since his lackey does what Casey and Emily should have done in the first place and told Lassiter directly.
And as for you two, if you enjoy D-Rock, you will certainly enjoy Detention.
Worst principal ever. So, tell me, Power Failure, what exactly did Casey do in this episode to deserve being punished throughout the whole thing?
It's true. I I'd like a little power, because then I could make certain people stop annoying me just like that.
Oh my god, she was trying to stop Derek from breaking the rules.
You trying to bribe me?
Oh my god, she was trying to get Derek in trouble for abusing his power.
Well, how many detentions will that get me, huh?
Oh my god, she was angry at Derek for getting innocent students thrown in detention. Yeah, remember when I said that this episode broke the rule that made the show work? The number one reason I like this show is that Derek and Casey are typically on even playing fields. Both have their faults. Derek, of course, is a troublemaker, but Casey is pretentious and has quite the ego. And since the show knows this, it never feels like one is better, and in the end, they usually can benefit from each other. Here though, what I see is an asshole who abuses his power while another person is trying to stop him, since her completely inept principal won't. And in the end, she is the one who loses. Now I know what you're thinking. Didn't Derek get in trouble too? Well...
Sad about your fall from grace?
Fall? What fall? Thanks to my underground concert, my cool cachet is through the roof!
Yep, Derek in this episode has basically become Megan. Back at the house, George tells Marty where Casey and Derek are.
They broke the rules, so they're in detention. But when they get home, they're grounded.
First off, is Derek getting detention a new thing? And second of all,
Why don't you ground me when I break the rules?
Because you are my little girl.
That's not fair. I want to be a big kid, like Casey and Derek.
Big kids, you know, they go to bed on time. They have to clean up their rooms.
Oh, do I have to?
Yes, you do.
Okay, Daddy.
great way to end it, guys. Tell the audience to not teach kids to respect their parents because eventually they'll just want to. Oh, fuck this episode. I was actually surprised how much worse this was on a second viewing. The characters are all unlikable except for Casey, who is the only one who technically loses in the end. The plot is predictable and makes no sense when you bring any form of continuity or logic into it. And also, where the hell was Max? I know that's kind of a nitpick, but since the last two episodes focus pretty heavily on the start of him and Casey's relationship, it feels weird that he isn't even mentioned. It's annoying, it's boring, it's not funny. It really is a disaster in every way. But like I said, this show really was great, and the first 3 seasons are on DVD, and you can pretty much find all 4 seasons on YouTube. So if you want to check them out, believe me, I recommend it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Shit. I should probably just start that whole thing over, shouldn't I? You poor naive fool. Sorry about that. So much build-up in there. He had to make harsh decisions on if she should perish. Perish? Well, that rant went on way long. It's 2 episodes focused purely... And that's a wrap.